I've always thought like vehicles were really cool, like boats and trucks and cars, and I used to draw them a lot when I was a kid. And I spent a lot of time on the road because my parents were professional rough stock riders, and so we were always going from town to town to rodeos. And so I'd basically be sitting in a truck or an RV or something for a lot of hours and would just be looking at like 18-wheelers and whatever I was seeing on the road. So I'd be drawing them. I just always liked that, you know, the design aspect of it. So I grew up traveling on the PRCA rodeo circuit with my parents. And of course, you know, you look up to all these pro bull riders and rough stock riders, and they're your heroes. And so you play it as a kid like you're a bull rider or a bullfighter or something, and then you eventually start doing it and start competing.
I mean, when he was in high school, you know, we had a couple of horses we bucked out, and we had a bull that he bought, and my neighbor had a steer that would big steer, let us buck out. So, shoot, I'd go have everything loaded up at the arena, and he'd get out of school, and we'd just start bucking out stuff. And then other kids started coming, you know, and so when they all grew up and left, I was like, dadgum, I miss it, you know?
My mother grew up in a rural area in the Ozarks, like kind of farm girl, and she just stepped out and started pursuing rodeo. Just same way I pursued bikes, like really no influence, just kind of going for it. And she ended up riding bulls and bareback horses, which really rare then, really rare now. There's women just don't compete in rough stock. My mom's very extroverted. She's like super friendly, never met a stranger, just like loud and proud, you know, and just like an amazing woman. And she's just full of stoke all the time. And so I'm a lot like her.
Do you remember that mare? You was so little, but do you remember me putting you on? And I was ponying this mare, and she broke in two, and you was only about 5 years old.
I hit my head?
No, that was another time. You rode this one.
I don't remember the one I rode. I remember the one that busted my head open.
Yeah, you was older. He put a knot. She busted a hole in his head. But this one, he wasn't but about 5, maybe. And that little sucker, his butt stayed glued in that saddle.
And then just in the process of just trying to figure out what the heck I was gonna do with my life, and just not really being super driven to get more competitive, I just decided, hey, I need to just quit. It's like you're either in it to compete and to be the best you can, or you just shouldn't do it. But as anyone knows, it's such a huge part of your life and can be such a huge part of your identity, and it's really hard to quit. You get such sense of pride and then adrenaline and all this stuff, and so it's really hard to back away from it. But the motorcycle started taking place as a bull riding. It kind of started giving me a little bit of that rush, and then was also this super creative outlet, and then also I could make money doing it. And this is a 2017 Zero FX. So Zero is an American manufacturer of electric motorcycles, and this is like their enduro dirt bike kind of model. And the biggest noticeable change, of course, is the aluminum bodywork. So it had more like dirt bike style plastics. So I built all custom aluminum shell for it. Then this one, I explored that more. I put a little bit more shape, a little bit more curve, because I had more ability as I'd been progressing with it. And so far, this is my pinnacle of my work. This is the best thing I've ever done. The Zero definitely helped boost my name, and it was really good for me to push myself and learn the aluminum stuff. And then this one's like, okay, this is the one that I gotta top, you know. And so now after this one's done and it's out there and featured, then I gotta go on to the next one, and I gotta do something more extravagant and push myself. So growing up with that and doing rodeo and competing and having that rush and that excitement and that camaraderie, and then going to building motorcycles, which is super cool, but being in a shop by yourself for 12 hours a day, not really doing anything really strenuous or too exciting, and then you're test riding customers' bikes, so you're being super cautious and you're taking as little risk as possible, and next thing you know, you're just kind of like, ugh. Like, even if you're doing the thing you love as work, it's funny how it can pull you away from the reason you're actually doing it. The more involved I got in motorcycling, the harder it was to experience motorcycles. So you're having to force yourself to find a way to get a bike again, to go ride, or to find a way to get involved in some sort of racing. Right now, I put a protective vest on and I drive 20 minutes on Wednesday night, and I'm in the thick of it. They've been bucking bulls at the same place for like 20 years every week. It took me too long to figure that out, because I was here for like a year and a half before I even knew that. Next thing you know, you're helping guys and you're pulling ropes and you're putting on flanks, and then you're pulling chute gates and stuff like that. And that was new for me, because I had always been on the other side of the chutes, to where I'm the one getting on the bull, I'm the one competing. And then it gets to where there's not always bullfighters, there's not always cowboy protection there, and a wreck happens, and it's like, well, somebody's got to get in there and help. So then I kind of just started jumping in front of some of these bulls to help these kids out, or they get hung up, and so you're trying to get in. Because I've been on the other end of it and been hung up in a rope and scared, and like, I hope somebody comes save me, because I can't get my hand out of the rope. So it's one of those things, you're either in or out, So I'm in there wearing the vest, so now I really got to take a hooking for somebody. And it is a big risk, because I work with my hands. If I get hurt and I'm laid up, I can't produce it. But I've noticed that for my mental health, it's been great. In a sport like rodeo too, the interesting thing about it is, like, things are never gonna go as planned. You get a random draw of bulls in a pen. They're all different. Some are better than others. You just have to go with the cards you're dealt.
When he was born, I just started crying because I wanted a boy, I wanted another boy, and I was like, that's my Colt Wrangler. And I don't know, it was just cowboy sounding. It just fit him, kind of. I mean, I don't know.
Perfect name for this.
It was just it's what rolled off the tongue. It was right.